My name is Ananya Udaygiri, and I am the author of How Animal Crossing Will Save Gen Z. Generation Z was born in the aftermath of 9/11, molded by the economic recession of 2008 and polished up by the coronavirus, the worst pandemic in a century. And that doesn't even include the mounting crisis of climate change, or the growing nationalism, or the gun violence epidemic. Gen Z's childhood is rooted in issues that would be unrecognizable only a decade prior. We are no strangers to a fight. So what drew us to a Japanese video game about living in a village with anthropomorphic animal neighbors? Like moths to a flame, or perhaps more appropriately, like children to their first love, Animal Crossing has captured the young teenage heart.
How did you choose this topic?
So I wrote my essay in April, which obviously the world was ending in April. So you begin looking for those little pockets of calm. And within that, I found Animal Crossing, which is this game that my friends and I love. And I really wanted to talk about that feeling of peace that is so hard to find. And I was scared going in that I was writing about a video game, but ultimately if it was passion. It was something that I was passionate about, so I stuck on with it. In a New York Times article focusing on Animal Crossing in the age of coronavirus, the author described how Animal Crossing was a miniature escape for those isolated by the pandemic. He labeled it as a balm for the rushing tonnage of real-world news. While that is certainly true, for Generation Z, it encompasses all that and more. I was a little relieved and surprised to find something about Animal Crossing, but actually, that article really inspired more of my work because as I was reading through it, I noticed that I was thinking, oh, if only they had talked about how this relates to kids, if only they had talked more about Gen Z. And then I realized that, oh, I can do that. So going into my essay, it was inspired by other things I saw and other things that, more importantly, I wanted to see. Our generation's troubles are valid and growing. BuzzFeed News so aptly describes it as a generation freefall. So pick up your video game console, load in Animal Crossing, play the game. For Generation Z, Animal Crossing is hope, and it will save us all. So my advice to any young writers wanting to participate in the contest is don't feel pressured to choose a topic that doesn't feel like you. You don't have to write about political events that you don't care about. You don't have to write about economic trends in the stock market. Talk about things that matter to you. I wrote about video games and I use simple language, but I'm more proud of writing this than any academic paper I've written for school.